Are you working your job, or is your job working you? Don't be a wage slave. Slavery is more prevalent than ever in 2025. It just has taken on a new form. Hi, I'm Daniel Sage, and I'd love to share a story with you about how I used to be a wage slave, and I escaped. And you should too. Just go ahead and quit. I know it sounds incredibly difficult to quit something that is giving you the ability to sustain yourself, but if you aren't happy with how you are sustaining yourself, if what you're doing for a living isn't what you want to be doing, then maybe it's time to quit. Let me tell you a story about how when I knew for myself it was time to quit and not be a wage slave anymore. I used to be a semi-truck driver, drive big semi-trucks, 73-foot long trucks, cross country for years and years, 3 years actually, and I wasn't happy. I gave up a lot of relationships, friendships to go work for weeks on end and not have a life. I wasn't thriving, I was surviving. And I was doing something really bad, actually. I was using cannabis illegally to numb out my problems and tried to hide it on drug tests, because you're not supposed to do that. Use cannabis and drive trucks. It's definitely a big no on the list of things, but I was in a lot of pain in my life because I was not happy and I didn't know how to sustain myself. I didn't know how to sustain myself in a way that didn't involve slavery, you know? Didn't involve me giving up everything. And I knew that if I continued down that road, it was going to be the end. Whether it was a wreck or something, really devastating. I know that when I'm unhappy and I'm not thriving, then I tend to make poorer decisions in life. And it was time to make a change. So I quit. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where to go from there. And what I would have told myself now is go and try out something new. I just think that, you gotta try out something new and be the best version of yourself and take a risk. If you take a risk, then you give yourself a chance to fly and not be a slave. If you're creating your own business, if you're writing your own story, you're doing the right thing. And my barometer for if something is the right thing to do is, do I feel slightly scared or intimidated? And at the same time, excited for what if it goes right? Look at that bird right there. It just flew in the train station. Not a wage slave, that bird. Do I feel slightly excited and scared at the sign? I call it excareded. And I knew that was the right thing to do, because it was pushing myself to go beyond, to be better. And I know that you have that same potential within you to go to new heights and be a better human, because we all do. None of us have to be a wage slave working at Starbucks or wherever. Even here, working here at the train station, It doesn't have to be like that. And, we can carve out our own destiny. Get on a Greyhound. Go wherever you want. Amtrak, wherever. Somewhere new. So that you're not a slave. If you feel like a slave, you got to do something. If you feel stuck, you got to do something. It's that urge deep within inside you that it's that intuition pulling you in a certain direction. Maybe it's something that you put away on hold long ago. Said, I want to go do that one day, and you never did. And here you are, haven't done it. What was it that you wanted? Remember why you came here. Because you only have one life, and you got to make the most of it. Every moment is special, important. Every moment is important for you to go and live your life. And think about the cost of your job. For instance, all that time is time that you're not developing community and developing friendships where you're at a job. No one treats you like a friend when you're working at Starbucks. They don't care. And if you aren't making money, that doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't generating value. You got to be ready to take a step and to create value wherever it is you are. Not necessarily just to make money. It's not always about money. It's about creating freedom and a life for yourself that you want to live. And for me, that's being creative. Putting myself out there, whether it's making a YouTube video, whether it's writing a poem on demand. If you want one, go down below my website. I released a whole book of poetry about how you can go and be a professional poet with a typewriter, just going to farmers markets. So it's about carving out your own destiny and being your own person, your own man or woman, And I just think that if you're working a job, you're making someone else rich. And maybe that's not what you want to do. Maybe that's not what's important. You got to decide what's important. To be free, you got to figure out what you value. So don't be a wage slave. There's plenty enough of those. Be original. Be creative. Do what you know to be right to yourself. Love yourself. By loving yourself, you break the shackles and chains of slavery. And it's a beautiful thing to see somebody fly. I hope you choose to do the same. I love you. Thank you for being here. Have a good day.